All right, we'll find out what the judge says to this motion for a new trial. Before we hit a break, we'll hit Michael Jaafar up. He's big case Mike. He's with us on a Friday. This is going to be denied, right? But there is a little something there. If you remember back at this trial, the prosecutor had him stewing on that stand, and he was barking back at her. And the defense says they successfully got under his skin by throwing out some unsubstantiated claims and that he had to answer to them.
Yeah, the prosecutor's wrong and the defense attorney's right. Period. End of story, right? There was prosecutorial misconduct. So in their motion for a new trial in California, there's five usual big issues that could be good grounds for a motion for a new trial. One of them is insufficient evidence, some sort of a jury misconduct, some sort of newly discovered evidence, or some sort of error in the jury instruction or the law, or prosecutorial misconduct. And prosecutorial misconduct has typically three definitions. One of them is incorrect arguments that are inflammatory to a jury. The jury cannot unhear it. When I was a young attorney, my mentor in a very big rape case asked a question I knew he couldn't ask, and he told me, "Young man, I don't want the jury. I know that the judge is going to yell at me, but I don't want them to hear the answer. I want them to hear the question." Right? When they hear the question, you cannot unring a bell. Once it's rung, it's rung. Right? And it stuck with me. I was a first-year attorney, right? And I was in a rape case, and he asked that question. It was a very effective question, right? So this is exactly what we have at this point. We have prosecutorial misconduct, but I don't think the judge is going to do it because they have to prove that there's enough of a basis for them that he would have been acquitted, and he wouldn't have been. We know there was too much evidence against him.
Yeah, there sure was. We'll get a break. We'll see what the judge says, and then the first of the victim impact statement. Ali Abulaban had to sit and listen. Had to listen to someone else talk. Michael Jaafar, it's so, it's the same thing. A crime of this magnitude has such a ripple effect on so many lives it affects, and you can see that bear out in sentencing hearings, and the raw emotion, the pain is just right there front and center from this sister of the victim. Thoughts about this, and does it matter for judges? Do they already know, they've sat through the case, they kind of know where they're going here? Does the emotion from a hearing of this, like this, matter in terms of a final decision, in your opinion?
Absolutely. I've spoken to judges multiple times off the record, buddies of mine who become judges who we had a prior relationship, and they'll be candid with you, and that's a big deal. There was a case one time that had a sentencing that I was involved in where it was a financial crime, and at the sentencing hearing, the lead attorney stood up and screamed at the sentencing, and he screamed, "Where are the victims?" Sorry, the victims were, big national banks and financiers. Nobody showed up. There was no victim impact statements, right? And so he was just yelling in the courtroom, and then he just went away with himself. But his point was made to the judge, which is, there's no victims here. There's no victim impact statement. And that judge is a criminal judge, so he's seen crimes like this, right, where it's very emotional, and there are people in the courtroom who basically tell the judge, "Here's what I have lost. I have lost my sister, and she has lost a mother. Her daughter has lost a mother." So these matter. They matter a lot, and these judges are human beings, and this judge hates this defendant. He absolutely detests him. He's going to throw the book at him, and this defendant, by the way, is going to go life without parole because of the aggravating factors, and there's multiple murders. So it's almost a fait accompli that he's going to go to jail for the rest of his life. But there's something wrong with this person. He took a left turn at the proper developmental stage as a man that turned him into this. He had everything, and he was committed to destroying it. He destroyed everything, right? He had a daughter with this woman. He had everything going for him. He was living the life. Maybe his life was too good and too easy. Well, he's going to see what it's like to be, for the next 50, 60 years of his life, asking permission to take a shower.
Yep, absolutely. The reality is going to hit in a few hours for Ali Abulaban as he is transferred from jail to prison. The real deal. Michael Jaafar, as always, thank you.